This is Dart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested Podcast, coming to you live Sunday, March 30th, the day after the Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Indiana Pacers 132-111. I'm your host for the evening, Jacob Niffen. I've got another Jacob with me, J.D. Silva.
Fellas.
We've also got Taylor T.P. Peterson with us.
Got my first sunburn of the season, of the year, yesterday, and I can confirm they were still not fun.
Thank you for sharing.
That's tough.
You're welcome.
Hashtag white people problems. We are brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network and the homies over at Prairie Artisan Ales. Go get yourself some prairies like Nick did yesterday. He got
a full
50?
like pallet.
He told me
He had to get a forklift to take those things out.
I don't know if I'm allowed to share this, but I'm going to share it anyways. Nick texted me and said, brother, if they have a keg of buzzer beater, I'm going to be like Dennis effing Rodman, just drunk all the time. So be like Nick and go get yourself a keg of buzzer beater and support Prairie Artisan Ales. There's some great dudes. I was at the local grocery store yesterday, aka Walmart. Bunch of Prairie at Walmart. Super dope.
That's cool.
So wherever you're at, pick up some Prairie. Smoot is in the chat asking if we need to get Nick to an AA meeting. Smoot, I would like you to hang out with Nick one night in Vegas at Summer League.
Yes. He's fine.
It's not a problem.
No.
It's not a problem. That ain't no problem. That ain't no problem. Do we have that sounder?
No.
Oh, I thought we did.
No.
Okay.
We lost a lot of sounders.
Can I get a different drop?
You can.
Throw some mayo on that glizzy. Why is there an explosion after?
He's added that to each sounder.
We have found, I was messing around with an explosion sounder earlier, and in the process of that, Taylor and I found that every sounder is funnier if I add the explosion at the end.
Okay, can I get a cream cheese drop?
Sure.
Cream cheese in the chat from George.
Can we do the Vegas one like we did earlier?
Of course.
Vegas.
It's a good thing we did. The Vegas explosion isn't as bad as if we had Iraq.
Yep, that'd be tough.
You just created a new sounder.
Yep.
God, please don't rip that. Oh, we have a Patreon. You should join the Patreon if you want. That would be really cool. The Discord has been popping. It's been great. So I would encourage you to join. We got Patreon bonus pod coming soon, and then whenever the playoffs hit, it's going to be insane in there. So it's a great community. I'd encourage you guys to come hang out. And then the last plug, I can't wait for the comments we get on the show tomorrow that says they start talking basketball at X time. I'm getting closer and closer just to having full podcasts with no basketball talk at all. Just to troll them. JD, while I'm talking about this, I need you to pull this up and put it on screen real quick.
Okay.
The man, the myth, the legend, Justin Peabody was in his bag this week and cooked up maybe my favorite uncontested shirt he's ever made. And we've been selling them like hotcakes. If hotcakes at McDonald's sold really, really slowly, but for us, it's a lot. And so they're super dope. I would encourage you to go pick up the post game vibe shirt that we've just dropped. It's with the homie Nick Gallo and all the different post game vibes he's been rocking. It's a really cool shirt. So go snag it. We're going to try to send one over to Gallo. I don't know how we're going to do that.
Yes.
Either he's going to love it or we're going to get a cease and desist. But we're willing to risk it.
Hopefully we can get one to Dub and he'll wear it during warmups.
That would be sick. We have some other shirts in the pipeline that are insane, but they can't drop until certain things happen this season. So just be on the lookout for those. Maybe the first round of the playoffs, Taylor? Is that accurate?
That sounds right.
Is that when certain announcements happen?
Yes. I'm trying to think of when a certain award is announced. It might be closer to second round, but you're right in the ballpark.
Okay. Yeah, so it might be right after the Thunder complete the bloodbath down in Dallas, Texas, and make AD really do pull out those 2 AI guns and point them at then we'll drop the t-shirt. I am kind of out of pocket today. I apologize.
All right.
This is the best, Jacob.
It's a Sunday.
Let's talk some basketball. Hey, at 6:40, they started talking basketball, folks. Let's talk some basketball. The Oklahoma City Thunder have won 2 games recently that we have not talked about. One was against the Memphis Grizzlies, 125-104. One was against the Indiana Pacers, 132-111. Shea combined in those two for 70 points. That's absurd. Just an awesome 2 wins. It's in the process of a 9-game win streak now, I believe.
Yeah, very casual 9-game win streak.
Yep, they have the Bulls tomorrow night. Josh Giddey is questionable. I hope Josh plays. I would love for the crowd to be able to give him a big standing ovation. And then for the Thunder to put in Alex Caruso and just have that man in an Australian death prison for the rest of the game. I don't want to get to the nitty-gritty of these 2 games and waste a lot of time. So I want to ask you guys bigger themed takeaways from the past 2 games and maybe just from the 9-game stretch as a whole. I also forgot JB in the chat mentioned it. Shout out to Taylor Jenkins. Came to Oklahoma City, got your ass whooped, got fired. Rough day for Taylor Jenkins.
It happens. Happens against this team. Silva, I'm curious your thoughts, but the thing that stands out the most to me is a theme we've seen throughout the entirety of the season, but really here through the second half of the season is that this Thunder team, even when they're not playing their best, or maybe they aren't quite as engaged as they would be here down the stretch when they had the first seed locked up in the West and are trying to stay healthy and they're resting players and players are in and out of the rotation on a nightly basis, it doesn't matter. This team can just turn it on whenever they need to, led by that defense, that defensive intensity, get out in transition, start hitting those shots, and it goes from either the Thunder are down 4 or 5 points, or maybe they're only up a couple points. Next thing you know, it's a 20-point lead. We saw that in the fourth quarter against the Memphis Grizzlies. I was there on work. I looked up at the score in the fourth quarter. The Grizzlies had come back, tied it up, and the next thing you know, the Thunder win by 20. Then last night's game against the Pacers, kind of similar, although it didn't take quite as long for the Thunder to turn, kind of flip that switch. The second quarter was much better, but then the third quarter, just an absolute bloodbath, led by guys like Lou Dort, J-Dub, Alex Caruso defensively. Next thing you know, this team is up by 20. That is dangerous. And they're throwing out a multitude of different lineups and are still able to do that. It's not one lineup like the double big lineup. It's not just the small ball lineup. It doesn't really matter which lineup it is. All these different combinations of lineups are capable of doing that. And I think that's what makes this team so dangerous heading into the postseason.
Yeah, this is the time of the month for elite teams to kind of take their foot off the gas, rest guys, try weird lineups. And normally that coincides with weird, uncharacteristic losses. Like we see the the Cavs right now just keep losing. And, some people are like, oh, should we panic? Should we not panic? The Thunder have been doing all those same things. They're taking their foot off the gas in some games, but they only have to lock in for a quarter or sometimes a 8-minute stretch. And they just blow teams out. That's what happened. That's why Taylor Jenkins lost his damn job. Like they locked
JD,
in for
I don't even think it's a quarter.
no.
That Memphis game, Lou hit a rainbow 3 at 6:16 in LA. They called a timeout. I didn't get a reaction from Taylor.
I was
They
reading
dropped
the
the
comments.
6-6 Oh, the timeout was at 6:16 in LA.
Oh,
The
Kendrick.
was Kendrick drop, but I know Smoot's got me in the chat. Shout out Smoot. I'm waiting for the comment. Lou hits this rainbow 3 at the end of the buzzer to put the Thunder up 3. Jenkins calls a timeout. The next timeout in the game comes with about 4 minutes left, and the Thunder are up 13. The next timeout comes at 2 minutes left. The Thunder are up 25. 4 minutes.
What do you do? What
4
do you do?
minutes.
4 minutes of hell.
I mean, and the thing is, it was all defense. I think that was in total, that was a 26-0 run, where they just didn't score the ball for 4 minutes. And I also got to give a shout out right after that first timeout, I believe. The Grizzlies had that offensive possession where Dort intercepted the pass, started the break, and then passed to Shea for the dunk. You guys know what I'm talking about? Do you remember this play?
I think so.
Where Dort off the dribble righty goes cross court bounce pass in between two defenders, hits Shea right in stride. Best pass of Dort's career.
Yeah,
I
was going to
it's
say
an argument.
season. You're probably correct.
An absolute dime.
Shea was cutting from the top of the key there, correct?
Yes, I mean, it was a fast break, so Shea bobbled the pass because he didn't think it was going to get there. I mean, it was a dime, but defensively, they turn it on defensively, and then they get run out points, and then they just splash 3 after 3 after 3, and it's over. We've said it a lot of times on this podcast, but there is a gear that they can get into that no other team in the NBA can achieve. Like, all the other teams in the NBA can put it in neutral. They can put it in first, second, third. The Thunder can get it up to like 6th. And you can't sustain play like that for that long. It's just, it's physically impossible. But if the Thunder can put the car in that gear, JD, for 4 minutes, the game is over. And people want to say, oh, you're doing it against bad teams or whatever. The playoffs will be different. Okay,
Pacers
you do it in the
weren't.
playoffs, and that puts you up 13 instead of 25, and the game is over because they're just going to grind it out. That it's insane the where they can get, like, the gear they can get the car into.
Jacob, I think about that play last night against the Pacers. I think it was Lou Dort who dives on the floor after maybe like a Caruso, like he poked the ball away. Lou Dort dives on the floor. He immediately kicks it out to a Caruso, who immediately kicks it out to Isaiah Joe down the court for a wide open. That was the Kaysen dunk. He finds Kaysen down court, and Kaysen goes down for the one-handed monster slam. Like, that is just the epitome of this Thunder defense leading to transition offense that makes them so dangerous.
Yeah, the Thunder team, this team just never. They might, our Discord might think they like disappoint in some stretches, but over game to game, this team is so consistently great. Not just good, but great. And about a month ago, I kept thinking about the playoffs, and I was nervous. I think Jacob and I were going to a game together. It wasn't a month, but I was like, I'm so nervous about the playoffs. Like, is this team as good as it appears to be? And they just keep proving, like, there's no slippage. There's no sign of, it doesn't matter who's out there. Chet and J-Dub can be resting. SGA can be on the bench, and something manifests, whether it be a 20-plus Lou Dort game out of nowhere or a 5-minute stretch of Caruso just taking over the game and locking up the opposing star player like he did with Kawhi recently. It's insane. Every night it's something different. SGA is always there, obviously, but beyond that, it's 3 or 4 things that are just miraculous. And
it's the depth, dude.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can't, I think we've talked about this a lot on this show too, is you can't rely on like one specific bench player to, like, I mean, Aaron Wiggins was kind of becoming that, but you can rely on one of those guys coming through each night. And that's what you need in the playoffs.
Yep.
And JD, you're mentioning like how they're playing and somebody's always stepping up. During this 9-game win streak, they have consistently had 3 of the top 7 guys out, whether it be Dub, Chet, Wiggins, Caruso, Kaysen, and Dort, whoever, right? They're consistently down 3 of their top 7 guys, and they're still doing what they're doing. And a name you didn't mention there, JD, and just a guy that I feel like we've mentioned a lot, but it's just the unsung guy of this this OKC team who has been incredible and is quickly becoming one of my favorite players. And they're going to have to pony up the cash. Is Kaysen Wallace. Kaysen has been freaking incredible, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So last night,
his offensive jump this season has been awesome.
Kaysen had 14 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 of 10 from the floor, 2 of 4 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line with a block and 2 steals. I mean, it's getting to a point where
and the best dunker on the team.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like insane explosion. And we've seen that just kind of continue throughout. I think there was a game early in the season or a couple of games that kind of surprised us. Ever since then, it's been completely consistent. But one thing I keep thinking about heading into the playoffs as well as next season, look, we know Mark Daigneault's one of the most like flexible coaches in the league when it comes to lineups. And he's not going to just stick to one closing lineup or one starting lineup, but it's getting to a point with Kaysen that you just can't imagine him not being out on the floor when it comes to important stretches of a game. So like I said, that doesn't mean that Kaysen's going to start every game next season or he's going to start every game in the playoffs, but it's very hard to keep him off the floor. And I think that is something interesting when we're thinking about the double big lineup that's shown a lot of improvement recently. I mean, I think you have to have Kaysen Wallace out there when it matters.
There's hardly any drop off defensively whenever Lou Dort goes to the bench or Caruso goes to the bench. One of those guys is, and Kaysen is like Lou Dort and Caruso have had much longer careers at this point and have been proven elite defenders for a long time. But Kaysen, it's only his second year, and he's unreal. Like there's hardly any drop off between those guys, and to me, his offensive upside is probably higher than both those guys. I mean, Caruso's been all right, Lou Dort's been all right, but
Lou's 3-point shooting has been incredible, and I have a stat for that at some point.
Yeah,
but
Kaysen with the ball in his hand has been really, really good.
That's the difference.
As we're kind of shifting away from talking about those 2 games specifically, I'm going to be real honest. I don't think anyone wants us to talk about the 8 games remaining in the regular season. I don't know how many people care about that. We could do are they going to win 70? Are they going to win 60? I don't want to do that. We have a few things planned tonight. One that's unplanned that I'm just springing on you right now. And I need to get the stats pulled up so we can do this. I want to go down the list of players on this team. I'm going to give you guys a name. And what I want you to do is tell me, regardless of opponent in the playoffs, is this guy for sure on the floor in the last 5 minutes, considering like it's not a 25-point blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're just going to go down the list and I'm going to give you a name and you're going to say, yes, there's no question this guy is on the court. You can say he may be on the court situationally, and you can say he's not going to be on the floor in the final 5 minutes. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep. It's going to be hard.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yep.
Obvious one.
J-Dub.
Same.
Yep.
Luguentz Dort.
I say yes. 100%. So this is where I want to pull up the stats. Nick Gallo tweeted this out. 27th game.
By the Gallo shirt.
Yeah, by the Gallo shirt. Last night was his 27th game with at least 3 made threes for Lou, shooting 40% from 3 this season on 6 attempts per game, which is incredible. And this is from our guy, Daniel Bell. This is Lou's 7th game this season with 6 or more threes. Ties Russ and PG for second most in Thunder history. First place is PG.
PG is pretty crazy.
With 10 games.
Yeah.
So he has 8 games left. He needs 4 more games of 6 or more made threes and will hold the Thunder record for, with the most games with 6 or more 3-pointers. That's insane.
Wild. That's
Dort,
wild.
Dort is more, I'd put him in the more situational bunch. He's probably going to be out there, but I wouldn't be like.
I just think Mark values and trusts his defense so much. I
think you're
understand
right.
wanting to have Caruso and Kaysen out there, which they arguably should be. We'll get into them, but I don't think it will come due to Lou Dort on the bench, unless it's foul trouble or injury.
Isaiah Hartenstein.
That feels matchup based, I think.
Agreed.
Okay.
It's hard to think that he'd be taken off due to everything he does offensively as a playmaking hub, and he's obviously played well defensively as well. But that's what we're talking about. Thunder want to go smaller and want to go more defensive oriented down the stretch. I think that's maybe where you pull an iHeart for one of those players we mentioned in Caruso or Kaysen.
Kaysen Wallace.
I mean, if we said iHeart was situational, Silva,
Yeah,
I think we have to say Kaysen is as well.
Kaysen is
Remember,
for
your
sure.
options are they're on the floor, 50-50 situational, or I don't think they're going to get final 5 minutes crunch time playoff minutes.
I
So you
think
guys
we
want
have.
situational for Kaysen?
Think
Yep.
we have to.
I think that's fair. Chet Holmgren.
Yes.
It's a
He's
good
out there.
one. And I think if Nick were on, he would fight us on this a little bit to play devil's advocate. But I agree. You have to have Chet out there, not just for this season, but for the future moving ahead.
And he's pretty amazing at the end of games.
Aaron Wiggins.
Situational.
I would
Probably.
say less likely.
Yeah, I'm almost
third
with you
option.
there. Yeah.
As
Okay.
good as he's been.
Yeah.
Isaiah Joe.
Same thing.
Yeah. Probably not.
Probably not. Alex Caruso.
I think he's a 50-50 situation. Like
Yep.
we talked about Silva. If iHeart isn't playing down the stretch, Caruso may be the option there instead of iHeart.
Jay Will.
No.
No.
Kenrich Williams.
I'd probably say no. He feels
I put him in the same category as Wiggins and
I'd
Joe.
say no as well. So you guys have Shea, Dub, and Chet as firm yeses. Oh, and Lou. And then you have Hartenstein, Kaysen Wallace, and Alex Caruso as your situational.
yeah.
I'm just telling you, I cannot. At some point in the playoffs, they're busting out. Excuse me. Excuse me.
They're busting out of what?
They're busting out the Shea, Dort, Dub, Queso, AC lineup, and that is my favorite lineup that the team can put out.
Can I just say how many teams across the NBA, like most teams going into the playoffs in the NBA, just want 7 players they can play, period. Not
The
in
Thunder are going to play 11 in round 1.
yeah. Like most teams just want 7 guys they can play in the playoffs, period. Just
Mhm.
give them minutes to. And we're sitting here arguing about who is good enough to be at the end of games because there's so many options. There's like 8
How many
guys.
options you really got?
It's too many options.
There's too many options.
Good problem.
All
to
right.
have.
You guys want to do some trivia?
Let's do it.
Oh.
Somebody in the chat earlier requested a sound drop with the explosion behind it. I don't remember which one it was, so just give us
I'm
one.
pretty sure it was Bucks.
So ridiculous.
Makes it so much better.
All right. Trivia comes from our guy, Rob Baird. Rob has been rocking trivia all year for us. He's basically doing my job for me. It's impossible to give Rob any more of a shout out. So we are sending Rob a Nick Gallo post-game vibe shirt for all of his hard work. So thank you, Rob. You rule.
Very well deserved.
Thank you, Rob.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I haven't read these questions yet, so if they're wrong, they're Rob's fault.
Thank you,
Question
Rob.
1. The Thunder are on the verge of having the best record versus the other conference in NBA history. Who shares the current record with 27 wins and 3 losses? There's 3 teams that share that record, 27-3 against the opposing conference. I will give you 2 hints. They're both since the turn of the millennium, and they are, or I said both. They're all 3 since the turn of the millennium, and they're all 3 Western Conference teams.
I need to give a year and a team, I assume.
You don't have to. Don't worry about the year. Just give me teams. 3 teams,
Not including the Thunder.
not including the Thunder.
Oh, dang.
Silva, Sean keeps asking if you were at the game last night.
He was not.
Okay, wasn't him, Sean.
Just another semi-brown man. Uh-huh.
I'm struggling on a third.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna write one down.
Is that brown boy over there, JD?
Holding up the 4.
You taking those charges yet? I'm ready.
Christmas. All right, let's see your answers. Taylor's got
Holy hell.
Warriors, Rockets, Lakers. JD's got Warriors, Lakers, Spurs.
Ooh, Spurs is a good one.
The answer: Warriors, Lakers, Maverick.
No.
Oh no!
Really? When? What year? Do we know?
Man,
Warriors 15-16, because of course.
Right.
Mavs 06-07.
Oh, was that the Dirk
That's a good
MVP
one.
year?
I think so. Was that the Dirk MVP year where they got bounced by the Baron Davis Warriors in round 1?
Yeah. It was.
the We Believe
The
Warriors.
We Believe Warriors. And then Lakers 99-2000. Question 2. This is a fun one. Shea is flirting with a 50-40-90 season. For the listeners who don't know what that means, 50% shooting from the field, 40% shooting from 3, 90% shooting from the free throw line. So Shea's flirting with a 50-40-90 this season, but he will fall short. Name the 4 active players who have accomplished that feat. There are 4 guys playing basketball in the NBA right now who have had a 50-40-90 season. Tell me who those 4 are. 3 of them you do not need to overthink. One of them is a deep cut.
I'm so mad that I can't think of the one that is probably obvious.
I know.
There's one that I feel is a very JD player. Like JD talks about him.
Oh. Really?
I also appreciate, I know you guys have chat closed, but the chat is so good at playing trivia along with us, and I really appreciate that. Make sure you go to Prairie on Sunday afternoons and play some trivia while drinking some beers.
Damn it.
This is wrong, but I'm sticking
I
with
have
it.
3 that I'm so sure of, and then this last one. And one.
Oh. Yeah.
Who could it be? Who could it be? I'm just going to.
Think of people who shoot the ball really good.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see them. TP has KD, Jokic, LeBron, and Bobby Portis.
That's crazy.
That's it's somebody that Silva talks about. So
JD has KD, Steph, Clay, and Malcolm Brogdon.
Is that? I feel like I remember that.
The answer is KD, Steph Curry,
Ooh, I should have had that.
Malcolm Brogdon,
Boom.
Kyrie Irving.
Damn it.
I knew
Yeah,
my last one was wrong.
That Malcolm
but,
Brogdon. That was he has 2 weird awards. Didn't he win Rookie of the Year? And it was like, who gives a shit? Here's your award. And then he did this also.
I think so.
And he sounds like Obama.
The last question number 3 from Rob, says, who are the 5 players outside of those guys who in the all-time NBA have accomplished this feat?
Wait,
Again,
one more time.
There's 5 not active players who have had 50, 40, 90
Ugh.
seasons. Can you name them? You'll get a point for each name you get.
Okay.
Again, you're thinking of elite shooters. SEAL Team 6 type shooters.
Oh, God.
I don't feel good about this third one, but I'll put it up there.
There's 5 of them.
Not active.
Not active.
What's the threshold? Is it like points per game before you're eligible?
I don't know.
Or attempts?
I think it's probably attempts. These are names you will know.
I'm
We're
going
not
big.
going deep cut
Yeah.
random Nick guy from the 1960s.
I'm
I'm
trying to
going-
think of 3-pointers. That's where it's tough.
I'm
thinking
going
historically.
I'm going big. I'm ready whenever.
Yeah, I got 4. We'll just go with it.
All right.
Feel good about none. Like 2.
TP has Kareem, Oscar, Kobe, and T-Mac. JD has Nash, Dirk,
Ooh.
Reggie, Ray Allen, and Kyle Korver.
Those are good ones.
The answer, Steve Nash, 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Insane. Dirk Nowitzki,
Let's go.
Reggie Miller,
Let's go.
Larry Bird,
I almost did that.
Ah,
I didn't think the 3-point.
that's
credit
I
was high
know.
enough.
and Mark Price. Larry did it twice.
Okay. I almost put
Oh,
Larry, but I was
Mark
like,
Price.
Larry Legend. I like the historical questions.
Yeah, they're good. Shout out to Rob. We appreciate you, Rob, for your service all season long. Thank you, Rob. Before we go to break, JD is going to give you guys another sound drop with an explosion.
Uh-oh. Maybe not.
JD didn't hear me. Can you hear me now, JD?
Lost his cable trying to put the whiteboard down.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we need a drop with an explosion before we go to break.
Okay, 1 second. You are for some reason. Can you still hear me?
Yes. Can't hear a sounder. We'll be right back. And we are back. JD's still trying to fix the explosion sound. I think the soundboard blew up. We thought that tonight, nobody wants to talk about the last 8 games of the season. Oh,
Uh-oh.
is there an echo?
Now he's echoing.
Hello.
Okay, it's gone now.
Is he frozen? No, his eyeballs are moving. See his beady little eyes.
Oh, we can
darting
hear you
around.
now. We can
That's
hear
great.
You now,
Can you
Silver.
hear
You're
this?
back. No.
Nope.
No sounder.
Love this.
We figured we would talk why Silva works behind the scenes. We figured like we would talk about the NBA playoffs, specifically in the Western Conference, because that's the exciting stuff. If you missed it during post-game interviews last night against the Pacers, once interviews were done, J-Dub asked head of PR, Matt Tumbleson. We can hear that. That works.
Oh my God. Sorry about that.
POV, the Viet Cong, 1961. Sorry.
Oh my
Sorry. Oh my goodness. What was I even saying?
Dub asked Tumbleson how many
Oh,
games were left.
how many games are left in the regular season? And Tumbleson said 8. So Dub didn't even know. And Shea said that's when the real games start. This team is ready to go.
Yep.
So we also need to be ready to go. So let's talk playoffs. Playoffs. Gentlemen, first, I want us to put together a top 8 in the West. I have the standings here ready to go. I am going to screen share the standings. So those of you watching the video on YouTube can see it. We're going to kind of look at who's in what position. Is that too small?
Yes.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Is it getting bigger?
It is.
How is it now?
It's looking better.
Just right.
Go up. Zoom in another 20%.
Can't go any farther.
That's
Is that good?
Perfect.
Beautiful. All right. I think we know that the Thunder are getting the 1 seed. Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
they're locked
Right,
in.
someone-
It's already locked.
Okay. Okay.
For the shirt.
Houston is 1.5 games up on Denver. Do we think Houston's going to end at 2?
It's like a coin toss at this point.
I know.
Let me
One
go
and a half
yes.
with 8 to go is a lot.
Yeah, they've been looking
Agreed.
pretty good lately. I'll go yes.
I think I'm going yes. Houston gets the 2. Denver is at 3. They are a game and a half up on the Lakers. Do we think Denver ends at 3?
I say yes because the Lakers have a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah.
Currently.
Like
They're
really
kind
tough.
of in the midst of it.
Okay, so we got Denver ending at 3. The Lakers are at 4. They are a game up on the Grizz and 2 games up on the Warriors and 2.5 games up on the Timberwolves. I think Golden State and Minnesota are out of it there because making up 2 games with 8 to go is just really hard to do. I think we're debating the Grizz here.
Agreed. And I feel pretty comfortable saying the Lakers probably stay in this position.
JD?
I think Lakers stay where they are. Grizzlies probably stay where they are. I think they win enough games that can get a little new coach bump.
Yep.
Oh, they lost their first game with the new coach. So you think Memphis is a game up on the Warriors and a game and a half up on the Timberwolves? You guys think Memphis is ending at 5?
It's another coin toss. That's
It
so
does
tough.
feel like a coin toss. We're just
I haven't seen anything on the Warriors schedule recently either. I wish I would have pulled it up.
I mean, you have a computer literally right in front of you.
That's
Yeah.
true. The
Just
Warriors
pull up
are
Tankathon and look at strength of schedule.
7 and 3 of their last 10 for the Warriors. I think they just won again tonight, if I remember correctly.
Lakers.
comfortable- I'd be
Lakers
comfortable
have the
going with
second hardest
Warriors.
schedule remaining.
Lakers have the hardest schedule remaining.
Second most difficult
Oh.
schedule remaining. They played the Thunder twice, the Rockets twice, the Warriors once. Out of
Wow.
these games.
The Thunder might be sitting guys though.
Yep.
True.
I'm going to make a determination here, folks.
Okay.
I'm putting the Warriors at 6, the Warriors at 5, the Grizz at 6.
I like that.
So I'm flip-flopping 5 and 6. Now the question comes in, does Memphis slide any lower? Because the Timberwolves are only a half game behind the Warriors for that 6th seed, or the Timberwolves in the play-in.
You say Warriors 5, Grizzlies 6?
Yes.
Okay.
But do the Grizzlies slide to 7?
So the Warriors just beat, after a brawl, just beat the Detroit Pistons by
You mean the
nearly 20.
Timberwolves?
Or sorry, the Timberwolves. Yes, sorry. Looking at their schedule, if it will let me. Here we go.
Grizz are 4 and 6 in their last 10 for what it's worth.
And then they have. Oh, never mind. It's not showing me because, of course, it's not. They have the Nuggets at Nuggets on April Fool's Day. They're at the Nets, at the 76ers, at the Bucks, at the Grizzlies. So they have a 5-game road trip coming up. And then they end the season against the Nets at home and the Jazz at home.
That,
so 2 easy
that
ones.
Grizzlies game is a chance to jump a full game up on them.
That's huge.
So do we think Grizz end at 6 or slide down to 7?
You're kind of talking me into sliding down to 7.
yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, so 5 is Golden State, 6 is Minnesota, 7 is the Grizz. The Clippers are at 8. They are a 5.5 games up on the Mavericks. They're not sliding below 8. So are we keeping Clippers at 8?
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
also 7 and 3 of their last 10.
They're only a half game back of the Wolves too.
So they have the Magic coming up tomorrow. They have the Pelicans. They have the Mavericks April 4th, which is pretty important for standings. Actually, it's a home and home back to back. Have the Mavericks again the next night. And they get the Spurs, Rockets, Kings, Warriors. That's a tough stretch in the season.
Yeah. Let's keep the Clippers at 8. And then here's where the interesting part comes in. 9, 10, 11. 9 is the Mavs, who have a half game up on the Kings. And then 11 is the Suns, who are a game behind the Kings. So from 11 to 9 is separated by a game and a half. One of those 3 teams is missing the play-in. When you look at the last 10, Mavs are 5 and 5, Phoenix 5 and 5, Kings 3 and 7. The seeding there doesn't really matter. Who do we have of those 3 missing the play-in?
So looking ahead at the Kings schedule, they have the Cavaliers. Oh, sorry. They have the Pacers, the Wizards, the Hornets, the Cavs, Pistons, Nuggets, Clippers, Suns to end.
Sheesh.
It's an easy beginning and then a tough backside.
Yep.
That was for the Kings.
That was for the Kings.
Okay.
I almost want to choose the Kings to slide down.
80's back. I probably need to pull up the Mavericks schedule as well.
I don't want to spend a ton of time on this. Let's just choose two teams in the 9-10. You guys want to go of the three, or we go Mavericks, Kings, Suns? What are we doing?
I go Mavericks, Suns.
Yeah.
Mavericks, Suns it is. Okay. Now let's take care of the play-in real quick, and then we'll start looking at playoff matchups. We have Grizz Clippers in the first play-in game. Who wins that?
Kind of think the Clippers win that.
Agreed.
I absolutely think the Clippers win it. So the Clippers get the 7th seed.
Yep.
Mavs, Suns. Who wins that play-in game?
Suns.
Oh, well, okay. So the chat brings up a good point. The Suns are currently down nearly 30 points to the Rockets right now.
The Suns just want it to be over. God,
So
Suns.
maybe we should go Kings and kick Phoenix out.
Suns,
Regardless, let's say Dallas wins that play-in game.
Okay.
So then the battle for the 8th seed is between the Grizz and the Mavs.
I'll still go Grizz.
I'll go Grizzlies. What a sad matchup that is.
Yeah.
I want it to be the Mavs for personal reasons, but we'll go Grizz. So that puts the Grizzlies at the 8th seed.
Uh-huh.
And then JD, I believe you have a bracket ready for us now. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. That's too small. You need to zoom in.
Yes.
Oh, maybe.
Hello?
It's not a good full
It's our
screen.
first time using this. There we go.
There
It's a
we
little
go.
better.
Okay. Before we get to Thunder Grizz, let's do these other matchups real quick. I don't really care. Like, we're not here to dissect these matchups. We're just picking a winner. Okay. So let's start at the bottom of the bracket, JD.
Okay.
Rockets, Clippers.
Clippers.
Ooh. I kind of like that. I like that. Let's go Clippers.
Clippers it is.
Okay.
Go to hell, Houston.
I don't know how to determine who wins.
Just try double clicking. Oh, click and now click on Clippers. See if it'll let you.
Can you click the next form? There you go. So you just click that next box and you type it in,
Yeah, there you go.
but it won't let you type.
Yeah, no.
Okay. We vetted the tech before we got on here, guys. The
course.
next matchup is Nuggets Timberwolves, a rematch of last year.
That's going to be a blast of a first round playoff series, but I'm going Nuggets.
I'm going Nuggets as well. So the second round is Clips Nuggets. And then let's go Warriors Lakers. Who do we have winning that series?
Fun series.
That is fun. Give me the Lakers though. Luka and LeBron.
Yeah.
Give me the Warriors. JD, you're the tiebreaker.
Give me the Lakers.
Okay. Now let's get to the Thunder matchup. Thunder Grizz in the first round. This is where we can dissect a little bit. If this is the first round matchup, Thunder versus Grizzlies, JD, I'm coming to you first. I want you to tell me the pros of this series for the Thunder, and then I'm going to go to Taylor for some cons of the series for the Thunder. I think we all know who's going to win this series, but I just want to hear arguments on both sides. So JD, let's start with you. What are the pros or the benefits for the Thunder in a Grizzlies series?
Right off the top, talent. The Thunder have a much deeper, much more talented team than Memphis, and they can play many more different styles than the Grizzlies and be better at it than them.
So with talent, I'm going to give you a task.
Okay.
Give me the top 5 players in this series in order.
SGA.
Ooh.
SGA, Jaren Jackson. I guess Ja. I don't feel great about that, but I guess
You feel like they have 2 of the top 3 best players in the series?
I don't really believe Ja. I'm trying not to bury Ja immediately, but I do kind of think J-Dub or Chet is kind of a better option there. Ja just has been totally ineffective, like especially against the Thunder. So that's tough. I mean, do I want to just say J-Dub over Ja Morant? Do I want to say J-Dub and Chet over Ja Morant? It feels like Thunder have 3 of the best 5 players in the series, is what I'll say.
Okay.
I don't know their exact
Um,
order, but
What other pros do you have for this?
I think the Thunder have the exact, like, very, very good options to defend their best players. Like, Chet and Ihart are great options against Triple J, and the Thunder have just a revolving door of hell to throw at Ja Morant. Like,
And Desmond Bain.
and Desmond
You
Bain.
see what Desmond Bain's line was the other night?
Horrible.
1 of 12.
Horrible.
Yeah,
so
and then flip side. Who do the Grizzlies put on Shea?
Right.
Like Jalen Wells going to be your
Jalen
guy?
Wells.
You're going to
That's
play
been the guy.
Scottie Pippen Jr. 42 minutes in the playoffs? Please
Nope.
be my guest. Be my guest. Taylor, what are some cons of this matchup for the Thunder?
I mean, it's hard to not be biased and say that there aren't a ton, but the Grizzlies are currently second in the league in points per game. They're also second in rebounds per game. And we know they have the athleticism to be able to drive to the rim. And another team, kind of like the Pacers the other night, that obviously like to play in transition. I think if I'm looking at cons, it's going to be that the Grizzlies actually lead the Thunder when it comes to drives per game on this season. And so if the Thunder aren't locked in defensively, which we know they will be, but I think there's a potential for where you're driving to the rim, the Thunder are rotating and trying to cut off the offensive players driving to the rim. That leads to wide open shots for the Desmond Bains and Luke Kennards and Santi Aldamas. And if those role players are hitting shots from outside, like we saw, like with the Mavericks last season, that could be a reason for concern. I mentioned the rebounds. The Thunder are much better rebounding, obviously, right now. But if you get into a game where the Thunder really are struggling to get those rebounds and push the ball out in transition, which is what we know the Thunder are, that's when they're at their best. If they aren't getting steals and deflections, there's no really other way to get out in transition. You could find yourself in a half-court battle against the Grizzlies, and I think that could be a little bit of a cause for concern if you're not getting rebounds. But outside of that, just off the top of my head, there's nothing else that really concerns me. Like you guys said, Thunder had the best players in this matchup. They're going to be, I think the Grizzlies will be looking to double team Shea. So it will, you're going to have the Dubs and the Chets step up as outlets, but we've seen this team be able to handle that, especially here over the past 20 or so games. So that's really all I got, I think, in terms of negatives.
Who did we say won the Nuggets Timberwolves?
Denver.
Oh, hey, you figured it out.
Yep.
Boom.
I think the last question is, the Thunder win this series in how many games?
I kind of want to be bold and say that the Thunder are going to be so prepared to prove themselves to the entire NBA world that doubts them currently that this could be a sweep.
Yep. And it's playoffs. I mean, I would be surprised if it went more than 5 games. I'd say Thunder in 5.
I'm going to go 5 as well. The Grizz get 1 at home. Chris Vernon loses his damn mind.
Yeah.
Thunder win by 30 in game 5.
I was listening to Chris Vernon's crash out after the
It was
firing
fun. It was a good
happened,
listen.
and I didn't realize that the Grizzlies just can't beat good teams. That's like why Jenkins was fired. So,
Nope.
I mean,
They can't.
that doesn't bode well for the playoffs.
Not at all. All right, let's go back down to the bottom half of the bracket again. Nuggets, Clippers.
Probably pick the Nuggets here by a hair.
I think that's another really fun game.
Really fun.
But yeah, I go Nugs.
Nugs. Can I get a sound drop for the Nuggets making it to the Western Conference Finals?
Yes. My soundboard's hidden right now. What about?
Bitch better have my money. Give me a Justin sounder. Give me a Latvian laser with an explosion. Latvian laser. That's my favorite. My favorite.
That's perfection.
All right, let's
perfect.
dive into Lakers Thunder. JD, you're on the cons this time.
I'm on the cons.
You're a con.
Luka's a really good player. LeBron's a really good player. I would say the the Lakers definitively have two of the best three players in that series. But then you go beyond that and it flips. But that's
Yeah.
that's like
After the
biggest-
top three, I think the Thunder have like 4 of the next 5.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Because Austin Reeves makes it.
Yeah.
But then it's Dub, it's Chet, it's iHeart, and it's probably Dort.
Yeah. So this one just comes down to, I mean, Luka and LeBron are very playoff proven, like very, very, very good in the playoffs, and have done this time and time again, and have two of the best three players, and that's kind of what it comes down to in the playoffs sometimes.
How do you feel about Thunder matching up with the Lakers? What are some of the problems with the matchups in this series, specifically defensively for OKC?
Yeah, they do present. So one of the things the Thunder are incredible defensively, obviously, but a lot of their defense is kind of wings and bigs, wings / guards and bigs. They don't have like forwards, like big forwards to throw at LeBron and a Luka. Like they have the players to defend them, but there is a bit of a size difference there. Like LeBron specifically, does he just go off? Like
Who draws the LeBron matchup? Do you think?
Probably J-Dub.
And you think Dort gets the
Luka assignment.
Luka matchup?
Has
But
to.
see, what I like is both of those guys can guard LeBron.
Yep.
You can bring in AC, and he can guard both guys. I don't know how I feel about Kaysen on either one of those two. And I wonder if that's a double big lineup.
I like Kaysen on Austin Reeves
Oh,
quite a bit.
I do too.
Yeah. That's probably a good option for a double.
He's going to
bigs,
get
honestly.
reparations from that white man. Taylor, pros.
So one of the biggest pros I think of is that the Lakers are currently top 5 and let me think how bottom 5 and defensive field goal percentage around the rim, meaning they do not defend the rim well at all, or the mid-range for that matter. And so when you have Shea and J-Dub, this is a Shea and J-Dub series. I mean, they should be able to just absolutely pick apart the Thunder in the mid-range, driving to the rim. The foul merchant narrative for Shea is going to be louder than ever, because I think the Lakers are going to foul the you-know-what out of Shea each time he drives to the rim, and he's easily going to be able to get to the free throw line.
You think the refs are going to call fouls on the Lakers in the playoffs? That's
a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah.
But I could see it. I think the other thing is the Thunder just have so much more depth. I think they're going to be able to space the floor. If they're getting to the rim at will and the Lakers try to adjust, you're going to have the Isaiah Joes and the Aaron Wiggins and players of that caliber who are
Sorry, Smoot with a bar.
Smoot just
Queso
dropped a banger.
Unchained, but the D isn't silent. That is
great.
a bar.
That is great. I think the role players are really going to be able to step up in this series. They no longer have an AD around the rim. Like those are the things that just keep coming back to me. And we obviously know the Lakers don't have a ton of depth right now. Those are probably the 3 things that come to my mind originally. What else are you thinking, Jacob?
I think those are big. I think the Thunder will live at the front of the rim. The Lakers can score points. I just think the Thunder have so many different iterations of lineups to throw at the Lakers. I think you can run that super small ball lineup in this matchup.
Yep.
For sure. Where you throw Dub on Jackson Hayes if he's on the floor.
Who is horrible, by the way.
Alex Caruso gets the LeBron matchup. Dort gets the Luka matchup. Queso gets the Austin Reeves matchup. Shea gets whoever else, and you just run because
Exactly.
you know Luka's not getting back on defense.
And there's not a lot of players for the Lakers who can.
Yeah,
I think that's important.
I think for the team that led the league in defensive efficiency all season, I think the Thunder probably score 125 a game in this series.
Yes. I think the
All
Lakers'
that-
fatal flaw in this matchup is that they're going to have to play too many players that suck.
Yeah.
Like, you have to play Jackson Hayes. You have to play Rui Hachimura, who doesn't suck, but he's not like, this is the guy I want in my playoff rotation. You would be excited about that. Like,
Yeah. And I also really like the idea, like you guys said, of Lou and J-Dub drawing the 2 big guys. Big guys is in like the usage guys, because those two are going to want to screen a lot for each other, and I'm fine with any of those switches.
Mhm.
Agreed.
I'm fine with any of those switches. So what happens in the series?
I think Thunder and 5 or 6 probably.
I still feel pretty confident Thunder in 5. That'd be my
Wow.
prediction if we got there, which seems crazy.
I'm
Thunder
saying
in
Thunder.
6.
I'm saying Thunder in 6.
Yeah.
I just think a lot of these series, it's kind of a recurring theme where the other team might have 2 of the best 3 players, but
But the Thunder have like 6 of the top 10, 7 of the top 10.
yeah, the Thunder might have like 8 of the best 10 players or something like that in the series, which is
I could see this being a
appealing.
big Chet series as well,
Yeah.
especially offensively. I think this is
Oh,
really
I like
compelling.
going single big with Chet on Jackson Hayes.
Yep.
Yes.
I like it. All right.
Michael
So
P in the chat says bold prediction: LeBron is wheeled off because he shit his pants, a la Paul Pierce.
shout out Paul Pierce.
The Thunder can do that to teams and players.
Isn't it funny that he pooped his pants when his initials are PP?
Yep,
It's a good point.
I'm just saying.
Happens to the best of us.
makes you think.
I don't know about that, Taylor. Silva, let me get another sound drop.
Hold on, I gotta
You do the sop sounder.
tab over.
That may be the best one with the explosion.
It's good stuff.
Thunder Nuggets
Uh,
in the Western Conference Finals.
Thunder in 2.
Thunder have 3 of the top 4 players in this matchup. Yeah,
Yeah, this isn't one where I have to think very hard about.
Shea and Jokic are at the top, and then the
Mhm.
next are Dub and Chet
Yeah,
before Jamal Murray,
Jamal Murray's
Porter-
has
Michael Porter
gone.
Jr.
Yeah, Jamal has gone supernova in the playoffs before. Oh God.
That's so true, Smoot.
I don't know. They
Yeah.
got Curious Mike on their team.
Yeah.
Curious.
This one, let's just open discussion this one because I haven't got to throw in a lot of stuff here. Pros and cons in this series. I think pro. The Thunder are probably the most equipped team in the Western Conference to defend Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to shut down Jokic. That's impossible. But I'm saying I think the Thunder are the best equipped out of everyone in the Western Conference to defend him. With Isaiah Hartenstein drawing the main matchup, Chet being able to weak side, help protect the rim. Jay Will has held up okay as far as physicality against Jokic. And then the Thunder's swarming defense really pays dividends there as well. I think the Thunder are the best equipped to guard Jokic, which is the absolute key to slowing down the Denver Nuggets.
Agreed.
I also think another pro is that again, it comes back down to depth. We've talked so much about that with this Thunder team throughout the entirety of this podcast. This 1 hour that we've been on, as well as throughout the entirety of the season. And you look at the Nuggets bench, and that is where they really struggle. Not only that, it's not just their bench, but when Russell Westbrook's on the floor, we love Russ. I hope he gets a statue outside of the new arena someday. But especially at this era, this stage of his career, that's going to be an attacking point for the Thunder, trying to get switched on to Russell Westbrook and allow your perimeter players to be able to drive on him. They don't have a lot of great rim defense, the Nuggets. And so that allows for these guys, just like the Lakers series, to be able to get to the rim. And then when that's blocked off, you spray to an open shooter. And so I think that's something I'd be watching a lot with this potential Western Conference Finals. But ultimately, I think this series will come down to the best players in the game or in this series. And I could see Shea, Dub, Chet each having really big series for the Thunder.
So here's, I don't know. Does Zeke Naji get playoff minutes in the Western Conference Finals?
If he does, then good luck, Nuggets.
Jalen Pickett?
Jaden Pickett, or is it Jaden or Jalen?
Jalen.
Yeah. Be the
Not a
same
lot.
for me.
DeAndre Jordan?
Ugh,
God help
situational. He will situationally, especially when Thunder go double big, but it won't look great.
Aside of their starters, Jokic, Murray, Porter, Brown, and Gordon, their bench for the playoffs Russ, Julian Strawler, Peyton Watson,
That's a
and
bad
then
bench.
maybe the backup big is split between DeAndre Jordan and Zeke Najee.
Ugh.
That's a bad bench.
That's
I mean,
not great.
they might have a historical on-off point differential in the playoffs this year when Jokic goes to the bench.
Yeah,
That's bad.
it's bad for them.
And especially by round 3 of the playoffs, Jokic is going to be worn the hell down. Because he's going to be playing
45 minutes a game.
45 minutes a game.
The Nuggets can shoot you out of a game for sure.
Yep.
The Nuggets can absolutely shoot you out of a game. Their 2-man game with Jokic is really, really, really good. It's almost one of those series where I feel like you live with Hartenstein guarding Jokic and you cut off those backdoor cuts and everyone else just stays glued to their man. And if Jokic scores 65 a game and beats you, then you tip your cap.
Yep. I think you're right. It's going to come down to just like the Dallas series last year that the Thunder played. It's going to come down to players outside of the Sheas and the Jokic's who are able to knock down shots on the regular basis.
I think, my assumption is to start this series, Aaron Gordon gets the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander matchup.
And that's tough. Like, he's not fast enough laterally to guard SGA.
I agree.
At all.
So then who guards J-Dub? Is it Christian Brown?
Yeah. I think it might be Christian Brown on Shai, actually.
You think, oh, dude, if they put Christian Brown on Shai's going for 40 a game.
I know.
This is a series I wouldn't be surprised if let's say the Thunder win the first 2 games. Game 3, back in Denver, the Nuggets start Peyton Watson just to have him the primary pest defender on Shai. He's had some success in the past, but you're right.
I just think about Shai hitting that game winner over him whenever he snatched back and sent that man to China.
Yeah.
You know who'd be really good in this series for the Nuggets? That Bruce Brown guy.
Yeah.
That KCP guy.
KCP. Jacob, you made a comment that the Thunder are the team that's most equipped to guard Jokic. How many teams in the West could you say the Thunder are the most equipped to guard?
Yes.
Great
yes.
point.
A ton. I love the Thunder's wing depth in matchups on this one. I think Michael Porter Jr. kind of becomes an X factor with the shooting.
100%. As is Murray. I mean, that sounds crazy and kind of lazy to call a former All-Star an X factor, but that's been the case this season for the Nuggets. That they're at their best, obviously, when Murray's playing at a high level alongside Jokic. If he's not, they're extremely beatable.
Has Murray been an All-Star?
I thought he had.
I don't know.
That championship year?
He might have been. I also think the 2 big lineup for the Thunder works really good here.
Not an all-star. Okay, never mind. I'm a liar.
Weird.
The double big lineup would be very interesting in this matchup. I agree. I think there could be a lot of success, especially when they deploy that lineup against the second unit, like with Dub and Shai sitting. I think that could be really effective. Really effective.
If I'll do what you did earlier, Taylor. If Nick was here, he would say, watch out for Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray can be better than both J-Dub and Chet in a given series because he's done it before. He's had like 50-point playoff games. I don't think he's the same.
Very
player.
true.
I don't think he's the same player.
But the Thunder can put Shai on him, Dort on him, Dub on him, Kaysen on him, AC on him. Like if he starts going off against one guy, you
Shai on him even. Honestly.
Yeah, you just swap out the next guy. You swap out the next guy. You swap out the next guy. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. So what happens in a Western Conference Thunder Nuggets series?
Thunder in 6, probably.
I got Thunder in 6.
Yep.
I got Thunder in 6, which means they're in the NBA Finals.
And
the odds are who's on the other side of the bracket? Who's coming out of the East?
Celtics, Cavs. I want to lean Cavs really badly, but we've seen them kind of stink it up here over the past month or so.
I kind of like the Celtics matchup, guys.
I do too. Jaylen Brown plays really poorly against the Thunder.
Yeah,
true.
I think the matchups are really good for OKC. The only thing is I worry about Isaiah Hartenstein in that matchup being spaced out to 3 on defense so much. But
is Kristaps even healthy? By the time
They're
the final
really
game.
good. They're a
Does he,
really
does
good
he
team.
still have
Porzingis
the
is healthy.
undiagnosed viral disease?
Yeah.
He's been playing well since he came back. Really
But
well.
Chet's like the perfect matchup for him, dude.
He
Yep.
is. But then you have Al Horford. So are you spacing Hartenstein out to the 3-point line to try and
Yeah.
contest those shots?
That
But
might-
the Thunder are able to switch. I mean,
You know what's
fascinating.
crazy is the NBA Finals might be a J. Will Kenrich Williams series
Yeah.
if it's the Celtics.
Yep. Talk about a small ball lineup
Yeah,
game or series.
Celtics also weirdly, you would think they have a good answer for SGA, but Derek
he
White,
just cooks all of them, dude.
Derek White and Drew are not. They don't seem to be like great one-on-one man defenders against SGA.
And he's killed Jaylen Brown
yeah,
every time they've played.
yep. And the Thunder feast on forced turnovers, and it's real easy to force turnovers against Jaylen Brown.
It's awesome. JD,
Yeah,
is that going to do it for us tonight?
I think it will.
Can I get one more drop?
Yep. It just seems a little sexy.
Incredible. Let's get out of here.
There you go.
Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the show tonight. We really appreciate you. If you haven't already, make sure to join the Patreon, hop into the Discord. We would appreciate that. Also, make sure to go cop the post-game vibes shirt. It's awesome. We would love it if you snagged one. And then tweet us a picture of you in your post-game vibe shirt. That'd be really cool. Some cool things on the horizon for us. We might actually finally be out of YouTube jail, so that'll be cool. Maybe a new little sound on the podcast come the next couple of weeks leading into playoff time, so that'll be fun. And then just a ton of playoff stuff. You know, we're going to have you guys covered every step of the way, dropping fun shows, post-game reactions, social media, and the Discord. So join up with us. We really appreciate you guys. Have a great beginning of your week. Thunder Bulls tomorrow. Somebody's going to post-game podcast. It ain't going to be me, but it'll be somebody. We will see you guys in about 24 hours. Until then, and as always, Thunder up.